Hey everybody, welcome back to Ready Steady Play, where we've just finished playing Trickerion and we're about to go through our final thoughts on the game.
It was fun. I enjoyed beating Mike.
Thanks for joining us on Ready Steady Play.
Roll credits.
Good.
I love this game.
Great, and we're done. But I wonder how much of this professed love is based on the fact that you won.
I would say 172%.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
It's not.
It does always increase one's enjoyment of the first game. I think if you win the first time you play it.
It was fun, and I love how the expansions, when we were going through them to explain them, I was like, I'm not going to get this, but it became quite a bit simpler. And aside from like a couple of stumbling blocks we had walking through it, we didn't considering how much stuff has been added onto this table. We seem to have a pretty smooth playthrough.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
It was a far more social game than I was expecting because
this mini game here is actually when you pipped me in week 6 or whatever and just stole my act.
Yeah,
that's awesome, but also really crippling.
Yeah.
Having said that, that was your special ability as Yoruba.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I didn't seem to get a lot out of my Red Lotus special ability.
You did at the start because we even said this at the start.
I could duplicate someone's act and then get -1.
You used that a lot.
Yeah.
You stole about 3 points from me.
I think it was only 2.
You did.
No, you
did
it 3. The only reason you didn't do it on me is because for ages that's all I had, and you were like, I don't care.
So you took 3 points away from me, and you also got. I mean, one of the times you got 4 points instead of 1 point.
Yeah.
So you gained on me. You gained like a net something like 8 points.
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite.
But Ollie could have on the last round there. Ollie could have swapped those 2 performance acts.
He probably would have if he wasn't so far ahead. He probably would have done.
I'm not gonna lie. I very much thought it through, and I was like, I don't. If that cost me the game, then fine. Do you know what?
You say it would have really shafted me. I mean, it would have only cost me maybe 5 or 6 points.
Yeah,
it would.
Do you think so?
Well, yeah, because one of the my most valuable trick I was going to get to do anyway
was on that card.
and I was getting a link bonus anyway, and then I would have lost 3 points, but I would have gained a shard, so that would have been worth 3
but you
points.
lost a whole other trick.
Yeah, but it was like this, which is worth 3 points.
No,
it was that one. Yeah, it was 3 points.
I was quite glad I had the board presence.
It was like 5 or 6 points I lost. It wasn't much.
Having that board presence at the end was basically like, well, I'm going to get at least 2 of mine because you guys want to score points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was getting concerned you were going to fuck around with us, use your ability. I think you were about to say, we said at the start, how your ability was going to be useless for the most of the game,
but then
it
when
was so useful at the end.
Yeah,
but that's the thing, though, isn't it?
What did you feel about your ability?
I thought when I first saw it, I thought, "Oh, this is super powerful," but it's actually kind of really crap because it's
an early game bonus.
It got me like a handful of points,
but I think
like 3 or 4 points throughout the game.
But it seems like a lot of the characters are early game compared to late game.
Yeah.
But having points in the early game is actually not that beneficial.
No. I mean, it might get you first so many times meant I had complete control.
Plus, the catch-up mechanic is based around being last, and so
in fact, going ahead early with this actually really crippled me in the end because I had two weeks where I was really hurt.
Pipped at downtown, and it also means that you're not able to really take advantage of the advertising, which is kind of problematic because any advantage you're gaining from that is then kind of offset by this.
Yeah.
And I felt I don't know. I mean, my ability was okay, but I felt like it kind of. I felt like your ability was kind of when I realized how powerful it could be, and it was only really good.
Circumstantial.
Yeah, and I would point out I would have had far less spirit shards if I Trickerion part. I'd have had far less Trickerion shards if I didn't have fair play and avoided the dark alley for like 3 or 4 game turns.
Most of it,
I wasn't using, and that was how I just started to stack these up.
I actually think your ability is actually best
par.
Overall.
Yeah. This one,
I think it's the most useful overall because it's always handy.
On the higher trick ends, like if you were using it on my mutilation,
you could like steal.
You would just be like, right, you're not getting that. I'm getting it, and I'm trading you a barricaded barrels.
But bear in mind, my ability is only useful if I'm the lead performer.
Yeah,
but you could.
But that means that you guys.
But then, if I'd have been
Metamorphosis is the most valuable, most famous, most points yielding trick. You could swap out that trick for Metamorphosis and get 10
but
points.
someone would have to put Metamorphosis in my act.
No.
But they have to. But like, there's loads of high powerful ones that
people would have to put in my act. I can't plan to use it.
You can put yours in their act.
Yeah.
Then steal it.
Yeah, but then I have to like sort of base my whole turnaround about getting at the top of the week.
But you pulled it off like 3 times. That's like...
Mike, the example for you on the last turn, if I'd have had a mutilation left instead of a mind reading, I'd have put that down. And you'd have stolen it. And I'd have still got the bonus.
I wouldn't have stolen it, I would have duplicated it. But I mean, I think, so I think it appears to be more powerful than it is. And I'm not arguing that it's not powerful, because it is very good. But the thing is, you can't really plan... I think it's a trap to plan around using it.
No, don't plan around using it. It's handy.
That's what I mean.
Or if you see an opportunity where, if I do this slightly differently, I can use it. Then maybe, then you know.
Because I mean, I got really lucky with some of those links because that was probably the only time you've ever yielded links to me, and
you went full on with it.
It was also partly because I was linking with myself, which cast 2 links with you. I was like,
it was pretty cool. The linking is really nice.
Yeah, I did like that.
Learning from mistakes was really good.
Yeah,
I'm a really big fan of this mechanic of these, because in the base game, all these shards are extra action points.
Yeah,
I'm a really big fan of the fact that they double as extra actions, and also unlocking special abilities. So if you spend them, you lose special abilities. I think that's so cool.
I really liked having telepathic orders, and obviously Headliner was amazing. Intellectual Ascendancy didn't actually get because I ended up unscoring it, but. I more than covered that with the cost of it.
But my sort of key question that I kind of felt, because I love this mechanic as well, this idea that we can have these abilities that we can place, but only if...
You have the magic.
Or if we give up on having extra action points.
Yeah, you've got to sort of make this tough decision. I like that a lot. What the one thing that I was... Because the game at its core is a sort of a worker placement action selection game, right?
Yeah, it's a worker placement game.
Yeah. But, you're also, when you place the worker, it gives you access to an action that you then have to choose. It's not, and you're planning on what action you're going to do, but sometimes you might change your mind if an opportunity comes up. But so the thing is, it's a very sort of strategic game that rewards really careful planning, especially with the spells and the ingredients, right? Because what you
do the tricks and the
I'm not going to lie. You know when I got the saws for the first time and I didn't use them for ages.
The what?
The saws.
Oh, yeah,
and I just didn't use them. I was preparing for Pepper's Ghost, and by the time I could actually get Pepper's Ghost with the robe, I had mutilation. I was like, well, I've already got the cloth, I've already got the glass for that, I've already got the saws for that, and it requires one less of them. Nabbing it.
Yeah. So my question is, do you feel like the addition, because you've played the base game, which doesn't have the Dark Alley, it doesn't use these. Yeah. It doesn't even use the level 36 things, but that's kind of irrelevant to this point. The point is, do you feel like these Dark Alley cards and these abilities here, and actually in the basic game you don't have the special abilities on the Magicians either, does the addition of all the Dark Alley advanced stuff in this expansion content make the game feel too random for something that stirs strategic and thinking?
No, I don't think so. Not for me, anyway. In fact, I think that it adds so much more depth to the game that it actually, if anything, increases how strategic I feel it is.
I have to admit, it was a lot of fun to play with them, and I can imagine you'd really, like, having played with them, you'd feel the loss if you went back to the base game, even if you only chose one expansion rather than everything. But, I mean, do you feel... No. What I mean is, I think when you're playing, if you were playing the base game again, you'd be like, I can't do that because I don't have it.
The Dark Alley adds buckets of stuff. Yeah. I mean, actually, you can play the Dark Alley without this.
Yeah.
This is actually from the
other expansion.
Yeah, expansion, which is really small.
Well, the Dark Alley is like the advanced version of the game,
and it comes in the box. But then there's a little small add-on expansion called Dahlgaard's Gifts.
Although obviously, the game was designed with this in mind.
Because I was sold them together, like.
Yeah. This is, it was a Kickstarter as well. But this board here that comes in the core set has space for these cards on it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, what this basically comes with, it comes with two modules. It comes with these little meeples, which to use for initiative track instead of the original little just wooden discs. And then it comes with Duel of the Magicians, which basically makes playing with two-player in this has a lot of this player interaction, obviously with the linking and stuff. So it adds two things. It adds cards where worker slots are randomly removed every round based on a card draw, and it also has variants of these playbills which already have pre-set things to make linking easier. So it just makes the 2-player game work better. And then the other thing it has is what are they called? The gifts.
Dahlgaard's
gifts.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. I have played it 2-player. I think I played it 2-player twice, and it's still not great. It's still like you definitely feel you're missing out, as I feel you often are with 3 or 4-player games that you play with 2 players.
Yeah.
But with Dahlgaard's gift, it definitely made it better. It made it worth playing as opposed to.
That's cool. I've just noticed something that I find kind of funny, but it depends on what yours say. Your gifts from top to bottom, do they fit a theme?
Telekinesis, promise of power, ears among the townfolk.
A little bit, yeah. Just because I noticed Mike's learning from mistakes, was opportunist, got supreme power, and then was a technological pioneer. and my one started off, I'm a fair player, I rehearse, I got a philosopher's stone. Before that I had telepathic orders.
So you were super honest, and then eventually you said, fuck, I'm going to cheat and win with the philosopher's stone.
No, it was like, I'm super honest, and it was like, hang on, I can read people's minds, what the fuck am I doing? Because of the telepathic orders, that was so handy, being able to send someone anywhere.
Yeah, see, telepathic orders seems really... I'm a little concerned about the variance in these.
Try it sometime without them. Because, like I said, you can play...
But I like this mechanic so much that I'm not sure I want to remove them.
Well, no, the thing I'd say is, are there doubles of these that more than one person could get? Possibly. Or are they all single? Because if there's more than one of this, and I can only get one of them, then it sort of evens it out.
No, these must all be individual. I'm sure there's no duplicates. Yeah, they must be unique.
Be very interested in what the other ones say then.
I mean, because in the end, the scores are not so wildly diverse. Like, if some of us had got under 100, I would be sort of like, But the fact that we all sort of wound up in the sort of 100 to 150 bracket makes me think like maybe it's not outrageous.
Not as bad as when you beat me at Galaxy Trucker, which was just...
I mean, first and last, the difference was what, 105 to 133. So that's 128. That's 28 points difference.
Yeah, which is
huge. It's not huge.
I mean,
especially when you're getting like 17 points for one card at the end.
Yeah, I thoroughly love this mechanic, and
I
don't think it breaks it, having played the other version. But I mean, I do agree. So it could potentially.
Yeah,
you definitely could have someone who has more powerful abilities.
There's definitely, some
but it's also, I think it's also the combinations, because you could. I mean, at the start of the game, there's a real opportunity for analysis paralysis when you're trying to choose which of these to take. Yeah. You also have to choose which of these to take. You also have to choose which spell you start with. And between choosing all of those things, there could be the potential to spot a really good combo in there. Yeah. And there might not be. And I just wonder if it could set someone to come out of the gate just so strong. I don't know. And to be honest, I don't think so.
You can only activate one per turn. And also, you're not spending these if you're doing that.
It takes you quite a long time to get to the 16 ones where the powers seem to really jump away.
Yeah, I don't know. You had so many stones so quickly.
Well, that's because I couldn't do... That's because of my spell.
Yeah, but it was your spell and fair play.
Well, yeah,
doubling down on them.
No, but I was getting one of those because I avoided that.
Yeah.
But then my spell, that was the only one I had for so long, and I was just putting it everywhere I could, which was only 3. That was max 3 a turn.
Moving on from these, because we have talked about these for a long time, I think. I'm a really big fan of this as well. Yeah. I love the fact that you can get another... It's because it allows you to do the same action twice in one turn, and also get a special ability while you do it. That is so cool.
Well, if I didn't have that one for Headhunter, which was...
Yeah, you wouldn't have gotten your 12 bonus points.
No, and the thing for that was, I was like, oh my god, I can do it. I've got a card that I bought last time. I can do it. I can do it. Shut up, Mike. Don't make him go there.
I prepared last turn.
But I was in my head, when you were debating, like, when Mike was saying he can't do it, you were saying he can't do it, and I was like, no, he can. I was like, should I be honest? Should I just let them argue this? But it was fun being able to make that kind of plan.
Yeah, it was cool.
There are not many games I've played where that's the kind of...
But I mean, that's sort of... And I think actually that kind of summarizes maybe what my concern is. And I'm not sure if I think I'm playing devil's advocate more than anything else. Because I really enjoyed the game. And the points where I was really sort of punished, or I felt like I really lost out on points, were at times when I felt as though it was my fault. Like it was something I had done wrong.
Yeah, I screwed up a few times as well.
And it wasn't like...
Not as many as I was I was going to...
on the other hand, your access to this Headhunter card netted you 12 points that you couldn't otherwise have got.
True. Yes.
Well, having said that, I think that he won because he fucked up less than 2 of us.
Yeah, the 12 points wouldn't have actually made a difference to our positions on the final board. I'm just saying, in isolation, that's an example of what I mean about how you can spend all this time mentally planning everything and strategizing everything in the game and be very well rewarded for it. But there are also these sort of random elements that might come along, and because the game is so strategic at its core, it does highlight a bit the sort of
but that's not necessarily
the random
not
chance
necessarily
more.
a bad thing, because it's nice that there is, because this is a removable
Well,
part
I
of the game.
suppose-
Yeah, it's modular. They're both modular.
Yeah,
which is
they
great.
are modular.
So-
That's true, and I think it depends on how hung up you get on it.
Yeah.
Like for me, for example, it doesn't bother me personally.
Yeah.
I'm just highlighting it because I think it could bother someone. I don't think.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this is I don't think you take this game to the table with like newbies. Because for me, what Random really does is it helps you get new people in who haven't played a lot before.
Yeah.
And maybe the randomness would help you get new people into Trickerion who haven't maybe played a lot of it. But to be honest, I don't think it really will. I don't think it's necessary for it. Having said that, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And I think, we did a good job of sort of pointing things out to each other and going, that's really good, that's really not good. Rather than just sitting here going, I'm not going to tell you my opinion.
I was going to say as well, and we were like, considering that we were playing, like no one was playing to lose, we were also very forgiving, and it's not often in a game where you can allow someone to sort of backtrack and it doesn't feel like, oh, I've just given the game away.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
But also, you and I have not played this before.
No, but
yes, I came last.
Yeah.
We are being thrown in the deep end.
High five.
I think what I really like about this game is the fact that I love worker placement.
That's such a board gamer high five.
It's
Well, it's because you said like that. There we go.
It's an incredibly, for me, it might be incredibly different, incredibly unique worker placement game.
Yeah.
As far as it throws a lot of spanners in the works.
Yeah.
So first of all, you got the fact that you say you have to say where they're going, but not what they're doing there.
Yeah, I like that.
Then when they go there, it's not as simple as I go to the dark alley and do the dark alley action. It's or I go, it's like I go downtown and I now have 5 action points, so I can do this thing and I can do this thing, or I can do this thing. So it's each worker is potentially doing 2 or even 3 things at their location.
Yeah, I think
Because
it's probably
the action point system within worker placement is weird.
Yeah.
And new.
Although
it's genuinely new, and I think it's fantastic.
I think it's restricting it to one Trickerion piece to boost them probably helps a lot from it getting silly, because otherwise you could just send a freebie worker and like, I've got like Mike going, I've got all of these actions.
So I can now hire 2 people and get 2 spells and all the money.
That would be just annoying as hell.
You could be like I'm gonna.
Well, that would have made because you were the one with all the stones for most of the game.
But
that would have made that ridiculous.
I know, that's the thing.
So
as much of an advantage that would have given me this game, I would have hated that because.
So I mean, it is fairly well manufactured. I mean, for all my worries about sort of brokenness or random combos coming up that are overpowered, the fact that they do have these sort of like little things like this each enhanced thing can only be used once per man token. That that does make it sort of reassure me that it's quite well engineered.
Yeah,
I have to admit as well, I love this.
Yeah.
Oh, the wizard menu.
Yeah, because it's also like a quick thing of the game, which is why we kept referring to it every time we got those prophecies, which were really really fun, but also
fun, actually,
potentially.
I like that you can influence them as well. Only once was it done, but
the fact that you can see every spell of every card, and that takes away
without looking through them.
So much randomness, because it means you can actually go like, oh, if I get this, I could get that, but if that one gets taken away, I can also afford this.
Yeah.
And you also get sort of unexpected ones, like I was working towards Pepper's Ghost and then realised, mutilation, I can do it, it's better, get it.
Yeah,
I didn't research Pepper's
there's
Ghost
loads of hints.
once. Didn't do
I
it
was
once.
scanning the hints. I was like, I really wish I could have time to read all these.
Another kind of not unique, I don't think, but a bit unusual thing it does for worker placement is the player interaction is not limited to you blocked me from going there, so I can't go there. Even though that happened actually a lot, claiming first place on these, it has a standard worker placement interaction at quite a high level. But in addition to that, it has this mini game. It has the ordering. Taking away blocking people via ordering. It has the shifting of this. It has performing each other's build. There's a lot of interaction for a worker placement game. Buckets of it.
Buckets of it. And stealing each other's performances are really, really important. Now, I was going to say it is actually in a way more vulnerable to the sort of traditional worker placement thing of pipping someone else's spot.
Yeah, it definitely happens a lot.
Well, because these guys are also limited in the number of actions on them. For the apprentices to do anything really useful, in most spaces, they need the first spot.
Yeah.
Which
means
means
they can order something in for you.
If you're playing it safe, you send them to Market Row, right? But if you need anything important from downtown, if you want a couple of cards from Dark Alley, or if you want them to do something important like in the... I mean, the workshop is probably a safe bet.
You can't perform every turn, so you will have your magician available at least two or three turns.
I had 3 turns where he's basically not doing anything.
My point is simply that, if there's something guaranteed that you need to do, you either need to sacrifice your magician and the right to perform,
and even that doesn't work,
or you need to make sure that you're going first and send your apprentice there immediately. So it's more vulnerable to that thing. So I think actually if Space Denial is something that really, really bugs you, you might have a hard time with that.
Yeah. But you shouldn't be playing worker placement games in that case.
In that case, I agree.
And also, I point out some of these cards get around that. Because I had where is it? One of these personal supply.
That's come up, I suppose.
I had this as one of the gifts, which I never actually used, but it meant instead of going there, I could pay. Elsewhere. I could pay 2 to have whatever's here as mine, and I could pay for that. So I could send a guy there, knowing he's not going to get anything. Pay the 2 to get it put there, reduce it to 1 with a shard, and then just pay for it. Right. There are ways.
There are little tricksy.
Yeah, they've looked into ways around getting properly blocked.
Yeah, there are gamey ways around blockages, essentially,
which I do like.
Yeah. Although your telepathic orders is so strong.
That was awesome.
What do you guys think of the game aesthetically?
Well, let me feed into that point, actually, because I was going to talk about something mechanical, but it actually is both a combination of mechanical and aesthetics, which is these little tokens. Putting them down here, like the linking game, and the way the links fit together, and you get a bonus immediately, but the other guy gets a bonus when it's performed and all of that. I like that a lot. What I did not like was how it's very... I don't think the card symbols are distinct enough.
Doing
the card suits are distinct enough. And the fact that we...
choice, I guess.
I guess so. But the fact that we also all have the same 4 symbols, but then they're referencing different cards on our board, it just felt like looking here, referencing this, also referencing what you're doing.
Right.
It felt like a lot of admin.
Although
to a game that's already very thinky.
Yeah, and heavy.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a more elegant way around that. But having said that... it's like you said, it was a sort of a design choice, a thematic choice, and I feel like I like the theme of the game a lot.
The theme is awesome,
and I don't think there was anything I would immediately highlight in terms of the artwork.
I think any the board's of these elements. A little bit drab.
The board's a little bit drab.
As it's a little bit. I love the theme and overall, and I love the components.
I love the posters.
I love the art.
These guys. That's really well done.
I think the overall color palette is a bit muted. That's what I mean by drab.
Okay.
I would like a few more bit of bright. I mean, I love the way the theme. I mean, look, the stalls are the points track. That's awesome.
That's great.
I mean, things like it's a beautifully designed, and the artwork is brilliant. I just wish it popped a bit more, but brighter colours a little bit.
No, it's a fair comment.
That's just kind of what I wish, and that's kind of the only thing I would change about this game. Is that when it's on the table, it can look a little bit dull. If someone's walking past, it might be like,
But
I love it.
Do you know what makes up for that though?
What's that?
Shiny.
Yeah, that's true. It does have some of these shine, but even those are kind of like, I don't know, like
you're in yellow.
Yeah, I compare it to the
well, that's why you lost.
Compare it to the translucent cubes of something like Pandemic, which is, they're more eye-grabbing than these are.
Yeah, I do like them. I mean, I have to say I get your point about the artwork, and I understand that if it was brighter, some things might be a bit more distinct, but the quality of the artwork itself is first rate. Like I play games with Mike, and there's been a real distinction between stuff that's on your player board, or even on the box art. And when you actually look at the board...
It hasn't been consistent.
Yeah, it was actually something we mentioned in The Godfather. If any of you've watched that one.
Yep.
Guess who a couple weeks ago.
I think I even noticed that walking past at UKG. Yeah. I suppose, if this was like these, those have bright popping colours.
Yeah.
Like even this is mostly black.
Yeah.
And yet it's poppy and colour, and yet somehow it's colourful.
Yeah.
That's
it's the pale skin against the red velvet coat.
But do you think that if the board popped that much, and I'm not saying that it couldn't use a bit of an elevation.
It doesn't need to be all like
I think if it was as vibrant as these advertisements, it would be overwhelming.
Yeah, true.
Some middle ground between the board and the advertisements.
Actually, you know what? The trick cards, I think, have the right amount of colour in them. The right amount of... They pop that a bit more. No,
actually, talking about artwork, these two are great. What is going on with this one?
Can you see it?
Well, let me show the guys at home first. We've got some of the artwork on the spells might be... tricks. I'm going to get so much trouble for calling them spells the whole time. Although I just like wizards, man.
I would point out, Mike, is that as well.
Yeah,
that's a lot more cartoony.
This is actually what is that? No, not a huge issue. Just sort of a minor sort of observation. What is the one you had that was really cool?
Mutilation.
Yeah, mutilation looks really cool. And then,
the Breath of Life isn't too bad. Yeah.
So you just kind of this camera's not on anymore, is it? Is it?
It should be. I've changed the memory card. It's on.
Okay, great.
Behind the scenes, it very steady play.
Are we? Yeah. Well, I do feel like at the end of this game, though, and I think it is filming syndrome because it is quite exhausting filming these things. Yeah, but I think that I do feel much more mentally drained than I do after certain other.
Do you know what's
very heavy?
Do you know what's funny?
Yeah, I don't think I thought enough. But it's hard to do it when you're filming it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie, and this might be the endorphins because, happy winning, but I actually don't feel as drained as I have playing other games here. Like, there's some that we've played that have just, for me, dragged. That one, the end, got really, really exciting because, I didn't know. I didn't know for certain I was going to win.
I think that was definitely to do with the scores.
I enjoyed this game.
Because at the end of week 6, I was like, well, we've lost.
Those of you who watch the channel a lot will know, for example, at the end of our Dark Souls run, it took hours.
Nothing took as long as Dark Souls.
And we were so tired by the end of it. And I think we were barely enjoying it by the end of it, even just because of how long it was taking. Filming it is
I was still having a good time just dodging everything.
You know what I'm saying? Filming does make it a slightly different experience. Yeah. And even though this has taken probably twice as long as the game would have taken if we weren't filming it.
Yeah, I agree.
As it usually does, I still enjoyed this from start to finish. I only got 5 hours sleep last night. I still feel wide awake. Because I felt whereas by the end of Dark Souls I was falling asleep because I felt engaged throughout. I was enjoying it throughout, and I was able to. This is probably the biggest compliment I can give it. Actually, I was able to forget about the fact that I've got to go, I've got to travel home, and I got to do this, I got to do that.
But Dark Souls is also the only game we've ever played on the channel where we actually had to play off camera. Yeah, that's true. Everything else has pretty much been all on camera, regardless of whether I fast forwarded or cut little bits out here and there.
That's true.
Ollie's entire monologue.
Ollie is actually going to be cut out entirely from this series. I can zoom in with the main camera, so it looks like he's not even here. And then I will win.
It's going to be really awkward.
But if we cut both of you out, then I win.
It's just Chris playing Trickerion by himself.
For some reason, sitting off this to one side of the board and just going.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, a blank spot happens up whenever I'm going that way.
I assume you guys both seem pretty positive. I assume you guys would play this again, yeah?
Yeah.
I would absolutely play it again,
I would.
Yeah.
I'd be intrigued to see how it played with 4 players because we blocked off those sections.
Yeah.
And obviously with 4 players, there's room for everyone. So as long as only one of each of you were going
But I don't think it suffered from 3.
No.
But I think it worked very well
but I'd be interested in seeing how 4 changed
absolutely,
it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just because I think...
I don't think 4 would make it that much different. Yeah. The one thing I observed was actually that, which was what I think you were talking about earlier in the playthrough. You were talking about how things are diametrically opposed, and that might create less opportunities to link.
I think it works better having the 4 insofar as there's I think 2 of the disciplines are more find it easier to link together.
Yeah.
But having said that's only relevant at the start. So the idea is that I actually happen to stay within my discipline.
Yeah,
but the other
I expanded out into yours.
I think you're better off doing that because then I think by expanding out, you're actually you're doubling up on stuff more.
You say that. I mean,
do you think it's better? Are you saying it's better to diversify your spells?
It is better to diversify, I think, because then you can link better. Then you can link kind of constantly.
The only thing that I had that I didn't need was wood because I was getting that for a different spell that I just realised by the time I could get it, it wasn't worth it.
Right.
So that was the only extra. Like everything else. I used quite regularly.
I would also just like to point out, I found it very difficult to get these things.
That's because you kept rolling blanks.
But do you know that my escape symbol didn't come up once on these dice throughout the whole game?
Doesn't matter,
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well,
I'm not
no,
saying that
we-
it does, but I'm just saying, like, that was interesting because it's so hard to get actions here.
But hey, yeah, 2 actions
Yeah.
at points, and you can do
that's- I mean,
whatever you want.
that's
You
where I
can't
think-
underestimate the importance of buying these spells.
No, but that's where I think 4 players would
But
make it trickier.
planning them, because you can't just buy an abundance of spells. Like, it was talking in the rules about swapping spells in and out. We
Yeah.
never did that.
We didn't get. We didn't.
We weren't
enough
even close
magic.
to doing that. I mean, well, we all had 4 spells in the end.
Yeah,
I would have probably had to if I hadn't got my.
I'm not gonna lie.
I thought you only bought that for the bonus on it.
I bought that one because that was the bonus I knew I was going to
Oh,
get.
you took the one
But
you
when
wanted.
I bought it, I was also hoping I might just be able to do it. But yeah, I took the one I wanted. That was
I'm not gonna lie. I would have got rid of mind reading if it wasn't so ridiculously cheap to research.
It
To
works out
prepare,
well.
yeah.
I like the fact that you were so different in the start.
Yeah.
You weren't
But I
at
mean, the
points
other
like-
thing about because we were railing on mind reading for not
Yeah.
being that good, but actually, because you get 3 of them,
Yeah,
you can benefit from the links and sort of steal
You get
people's links.
3,
Yeah.
extra points.
So that's
yeah.
actually, I think, a quality we were very much underrating throughout this whole thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
so-
then I fully took advantage of it afterwards because I used it to link myself.
Yeah,
to
'cause you
stuff.
just did loads of spells without actually.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
that being so cheap, that was
Tricks,
my.
yeah.
Because I couldn't rely on you two to give me any links, so I was just like, right, I'm going. Although I did notice, and this was where the only time I got to link with you twice,
Yeah.
because I was using the up and down links,
Yes.
not the front to front.
Yeah.
So when I was below you or above you, I could almost guarantee a link if there was space to do it for me.
Oh, I just noticed
'Cause it
one
was
thing we did
there,
wrong. I
there,
think.
and there.
I don't think these should have linked
No.
these two because they haven't got the.
Circle.
So yes, you should have 3 links, not the 4. It doesn't matter.
Okay. 1, 2.
And I should have lost a point or 2 for the link as well, probably, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's very minor. Thing.
There, revised scores.
I'm still happy with that.
Oh, but actually, because I did the. Yeah, so actually, I would have been 32. So yeah, so I
Okay.
actually.
But I do think you're forgetting that psychic.
Oh, the yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. So,
Yeah, but I think
actual
you're
score-
forgetting that I'm on 99 and you guys are on 32. and-
Actually, no. He's right. We are forgetting because he has to minus several from his score
Oh,
because
for
he's a
all
Mike.
he's
a
Mike.
Mike.
So what was it? Mike was it minus 98?
Oh, the
Mike?
mic penalty.
Yeah.
So it's like he's only 1 point. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
he's actually worse off than when he started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I managed that.
I'm not gonna lie. I love when you said like, "Oh, you can actually be worse than when you started." I was like, "Crap, is this going to be that hard?"
I'm like,
And, and
magic.
when you guys started to like leap in front of me, I was thinking,
No, I was just
"Crap, I might be
saying you
worse."
start on 5 points so that if
Yeah.
you don't pay someone in round 1, for example,
Yeah,
you have points to lose.
Yeah,
It's just one of those dick games.
but it never
But
came up.
I don't think he meant that you could end the entire game
No.
with less than when you started.
I was honestly worried by that.
Yeah, no, I mean, if the entire points board had only been like 20,
Then yeah.
then I would be like, yeah, totally, that could happen.
Yeah,
but the
but-
fact that it goes up to 100.
But let's face it, we all got broke mid-game, and we were just like, "Crap, we're really struggling for
Yeah,
money."
yeah.
Do you know what would be nice is if they put a little token on the symbol on the bottom of one of these so you could flip it when you get to 100.
Yeah.
That would have been.
I
But
suppose
there's-
you could swap them out with those things, maybe. Or...
yeah, there's nothing to stop you doing that.
Yeah, it's a minor thing.
Yeah.
Right, well, I think we're just
Anyway.
about exhausted all we want to say about it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I just wanted to sort of get really quickly your thoughts on who is this game for?
Us.
I think it's for people like Ben. No, I think
Ben doesn't like this game, does he?
No, he does.
Does
I think he played it. He's played it at least once with me. I picked it up at the UKG not year gone, the year before. He's played it with me. He played a base game with me. I think he liked it. I can't remember. He definitely didn't hate it. I think it's for people who like worker placement and like big heavy games.
Yeah.
Because there aren't really any big heavy worker placement, well, apart from Anachrony, which is the kind of their follow up.
The spiritual successor, yeah.
Yeah.
Mind Clash games, right?
Yeah, Mind Clash games. They basically make super heavy, super strategic worker placement games, and I think they do seem to have Monopoly. It has negative connotations, not Monopoly on that, but they're the only real people who've put their foot into that niche.
Yeah.
And I suppose if you like Mage Knight, you'll like this, I guess.
Mage Knight is like the deck building edition of this, you know?
Yeah,
it's like
'cause
what
it's
this
super
does
heavy.
for worker placement, Mage Knight does for deck building.
Oh god.
Lots of people just love heavy games, heavy strategic games. I think,
Yeah.
and if
Well, they definitely have
like,
a place.
If you like heavy strategic games, I think you'll get a lot of mileage out of this. If you like worker placement games in general, but I don't think this might be too heavy for you unless you also like heavy games.
I think
If you like Stone Age and things, or even Alchemists,
Champions of Midgard.
I haven't played that.
Okay.
But if you like even like Alchemist, I would say is a midway worker placement.
Yeah. Alchemist, I would say Alchemist is
it's a lot lighter.
Mid to heavy.
I'd say it's mid. I wouldn't say it's mid to heavy because this is so much heavier.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you are right, but
especially the worker placement aspect of the game as opposed to the other aspects of the game.
Oh yeah, the worker placement aspect of Alchemist is actually very light.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't the Alchemist final.
Unless if you've played Alchemist and you're like, oh, I wish there was more to this, then this is definitely for you. If you played Alchemist and it was at the right level of complexity for you, then this would be too complex for you. I think not to understand, but to enjoy.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, there's a difference between like I don't get it, I can't play it, and I just don't enjoy it.
Yeah,
and I think but that's the other thing. Like, I think this does run the risk of some people, especially people who are perfectionists or suffer from AP, really like slowing down.
Yeah.
The game. It's very difficult to plan ahead.
But this is a game you need to put a lot of time aside for. You need to sit down get your beers ready, get your crisps ready.
This is a long,
when Mike's APing, Ollie and Chris are whoever's APing, the other guys are chatting and they're shooting the breeze,
But that's the thing as well. Like we tried to do it for the video, but if one person went silent, like really thinking through, have a conversation with the other player.
Exactly. No. If AP is only some games need AP to achieve what they're trying to achieve, and as long as you go into them knowing that, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think this is one that you should enter it. You should enter it expecting to be spending some of the time chatting to your mates instead of playing.
Because we are filming, we have a very low tolerance for AP here.
Yeah.
But, I also think this does run the risk of really triggering some people.
Yeah, true.
Just to clarify as well, the base game board is on the other side of this, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's exactly the same without. It only has 5 rounds markers, and it doesn't have a star on the 36 because you can't get little threshold 36 spells tricks, and it doesn't have Dark Alley slot. Apart from that, it's identical.
And the prophecies are gone. Well, they're part of Dark
Alley.
Alley.
Part of Dark Alley, but they're the main that stuff.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I think that just about rounds it up.
Yeah.
So I hope that this has helped you to decide whether or not Trickerion is a game for you.
Because it's getting a reprint soon, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah. I think the reprint should be coming next month when this airs, or even this month, depending on schedules and stuff. Cool. But reprint very soon. So if this is something that sort of you missed out on the first time you wanted to get it, because I do think it's sold out most places. I think you can get it if you really hunt for it.
Yeah. But
it's not easy to get. But they are reprinting it. I do know that with Dahlgaard's gifts box as well, because that's kind of an essential part of it.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for watching. And I hope that this has really helped you decide if this is a game for you. Yeah. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for an entirely different adventure.
Cheers, Bye, everyone.
Bye.